Okay, so I took a paper trade for FOMC news. Obviously, I waited until after 2 p.m. news release to kind of get a gauge on what I wanted to see, if my model would be present. I'm definitely, it's pure gambling if you get in prior to news. Now, if you wait a little bit after news, kind of see how price is developing, you can get you can play probabilities. Okay. I'm still not comfortable trading my model on a live account during major news events like NFP, FOMC, or CPI, but still, I'd like to see them play out in my favor and kind of create a Rolodex of trade results during these news events, even if it is through paper trading. Kind of build my confidence to be able to trade during these events eventually. So anyways, I was bullish. I had a bullish bias. Number one, because we're in a discount on the weekly, and the reaction we're having off of this order block is very nice. Okay, that's number one. Number two, we swept the external range liquidity here. So there's really no reason for us to continue lower from this bearish fair value gap, in my opinion. We'll see. The rest of this week will be telling to see what we do. But in my opinion, this isn't going to provide too much of resistance here. Because, again, we're bullish on the weekly, in my opinion. And there's really no liquidity to come for here. I mean, time will tell, right? We could end up using this and coming for this. But anyways, I'm bullish. I was bullish, and I still am. If you go to the 4 hour, you can see a nice sweep here. That happened. Not really relevant to my trade setup, but just something to take note of. This I marked because it was a potential 4 hour PD array, fair value gap, that we could have found a model inside of potentially for the FOMC trade. We didn't. I took note of the fact that we were trading inside of this fair value gap though, so we did have a higher time frame PD array that we were moving off of, so that was good. So I had that as far as my model is concerned. I need that for my trading plan to work, or for my model for me to enter, I should say. So that's that. Now, if you go to the 15-minute, you'll see the sweep that happened, right? Sweep of the lows, and then we started going higher. I targeted this as my final take profit right here, this high. It's important to note how we created this candle here right at FOMC when it got released, the data, right? So one thing you can do, right, I didn't enter here yet, but you can target, and I targeted the data highs. Data as in this is the candle where data was presented, this is the high it made. Usually price will draw back to that point. So I had that as a partial profit, just in case that's all we reached for. And we didn't reach for here, but as you can see, it was full take profit hit. Anyways, so that's just something to take note of. Sweep, very easy to see on the 5-minute. The best entry you could have had, well, I take this back. It's not the best entry you could have had because you would have been gambling. But if you would have set your, nah, you know what? Screw it. I'm not even gonna, unless. Okay, fair enough. The best entry you could have had would have been right here, but it would have been gambling on. Actually, that wouldn't even have really. My entry was better. I thought that would give me a better entry. It didn't. Anyway, you would have been gambling on that candle anyway. So I waited for that candle to go. It gave me an idea of where I wanted to see price go. Obviously, our model was the sweep, distribution, and then I got in off a market order inside this fair value gap here. Put my stop loss underneath this low. I could have been a bit more conservative and done that, but I thought that was good enough as far as giving the trade room to breathe. And then price made its way up to the data highs and eventually the final high that I was looking for. So yeah, that's kind of how I traded FOMC today. Again, I traded the 2022 model. and that was for sure present here today. Yeah, nothing much else to it. I didn't want to trade live because, again, not confident enough yet with trading live, and I feel like probabilities do go down a little bit when you do trade big news events like this. So I'm gonna keep doing this with paper trading for now. For instance, like I can't trade the rest of the week because of NFP, but NFP Friday and NFP Thursday prior to NFP will be days where I paper trade to see what I can do and if I can find a trade. So this was a nice win today. So yeah.